Water Cycle by Andrew Gomez, Natalia Robinson, Caitlin Severson, and Griselda Zamora. The first step of the water cycle is water vapor. Water vapor is when the sun heats up any body of water that turns it into a gas. This is called evaporation. High up above in the sky, the water then forms clouds. Clouds are tiny droplets of water. This is called condensation. When the clouds get heavy, rain, sleet, snow, or hail fall. This is called precipitation. In the end, the rain, sleet, snow, or hail goes off to another body of water that is called runoff or collection. Have you ever wondered what clouds were? Or have you ever wondered if the water cycle existed? Well, now you know. Thank you for watching.
Bye. The Water Cycle by Jessica, Damari, Esther, and Solomon. This shows runoff or collection. This shows evaporation. Now we show condensation. And here is an example of precipitation. And this is transportation. And here's an example of evaporation with an apple juice. And this is another example. And this is another example of runoff or collection. The end.
The Water Cycle by Brian, Emily, Antonio, and Danico. In the process of the water cycle, evaporation happens. Evaporation is when the sun heats up the water. For example, you might see some sort of gas called steam. Steam is when the molecules bump into each other. Next is condensation. Condensation is tiny droplets of water. It also means it collects the evaporated water. After is precipitation. Precipitation is rain, sleet, hail, and snow. Finally, runoff or collection is when all the precipitated water goes back into lakes, oceans, and ponds. Here's a quick review. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, runoff or collection. Thanks for watching.
The name of our paper slide video is the water cycle. The first step of the water cycle is evaporation. How evaporation starts is by heat or the sun. The second step is condensation. That is what clouds are made of. Clouds are made of tiny droplets of water. The third step is precipitation. The four forms of precipitation are rain, snow, sleet, and hail. The last and final step is runoff and collection. Well, runoff and collection is a large body of water or a large area of water. For example, a pool, a lake, an ocean, or a river. Here are one example of precipitation. Here is an example of runoff and collection. And here is an example of runoff and collection. And here's another example.
The Water Cycle by Stephanie, Cameron, Dewan, and Victoria. First, the water evaporates and gas into the clouds. Second, after the water evaporates, tiny droplets of water comes out of the clouds. It's called condensation. Third, when the tiny droplets of water touch the ground, and the tiny droplet of water makes a puddle. 4. The water evaporates again. First, the water evaporates and gas into the cloud. When temperature are cold, it will become snow. This is runoff and collection. When temperatures are cold, it will become snow. This is rain, sleet, snow, and hail. The end. Thanks for watching.
The Water Cycle by Ricardo Pina, Marvin Rivera Garcia, Meredith Cruz Sanchez, and Jeffrey Reyes. The first part of the water cycle is runoff or collection. We'll come back to that later. Next part of the water cycle is evaporation. When water gets so hot, it turns into a gas just by the sun's heat. After that, transpiration. This is another part of evaporation. It is when it rains and there are tiny droplets of water that the sun dries from plants. Next, condensation, when tiny droplets of water turn into a cloud. These come down as either snow, rain, hail, or sleet. Slowly we come back to it. Finally, runoff or collection, where everything comes falling back down and it goes back into another body of water.